Roxanne, let's talk about trust today.
Trust is a big one, right? It's a huge issue for most people in all sorts of relationships. But today we're going to focus on trust in your personal relationships, the person to person. Of course, trust can be a huge issue and stress triggering with corporations or government bodies, other groups, charities. We get it. I mean, there's a lot, but we're going to save that for another conversation because we'll be here all day. And I know you have a life and you have things to do. But our one-on-one, person-to-person relationships, trust is a huge factor. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah, we're also going to give you a couple samples of real empowering exercises around trust. After doing these, you will feel calmer in your relationships, more empowered and connected to the people in your life. So, this is Tara and Roxanne. We are here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life. We also have a free gift for you. In the description below, you will find the link to download our 3-step guide to reduce your stress in 1 week. Do that today.
Yes.
Super helpful for you.
We got all sorts of steps for you today.
Yeah.
There are things you can do to feel better, is the point. And so we're going to provide those for you.
So Roxanne, where do we begin? Romantic relationships, family-friend relationships, or self-trust?
Oh, those are all huge, and we're going to talk about all of them. But let's start with romantic, because I think that is the first thing people think of when they think of trust in relationships. Is he cheating? Right?
Right.
That's the first one. But there's a few questions to ask yourself first, because trust is an overused, I think, thing. I think we put a lot on trust when we should actually look in other areas, is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
We should script this ahead of time, and we don't.
A lot more natural engineering.
It's more fun this way. So first, before you even figure out whether you can trust somebody or not, let's break down exactly what you are requiring from them. So A, are you bringing baggage in from the past, right? So if you can't trust, if you're wondering if you can trust, this other person, you got to figure out, is this other person the one that I'm really thinking about and dealing with, or am I still dealing with some past relationship or some past thing? Because if that is the case, then that has nothing to do with that other person being trustworthy.
Mm-hmm. You're kind of assigning your partner some responsibilities.
Yes.
Not really there.
Which is a whole different thing. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's the thing. What responsibilities are you giving to them? That's a very, very good point. So let's look at that for a second, because where is the trust required? Are you assigning them the responsibility to be fidelitous? That's fair.
That's fair.
Right? That's a conversation you have to have. Do you want them to be honorable so they hold to their word?
True.
Right?
True.
That's a huge quality for some. Maybe honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Is it though? Now, is honesty something you really want? So before you put that on your list, ask yourself. Because if you say, what are you thinking? Mm-hmm. And they're thinking, it's been a long day and I'd really love to be at home right now watching my favorite show alone.
Be prepared for that answer.
Right. You would get your feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would, so you don't go, I wouldn't do that. Take that as a personal rejection instead of just their truth. Mm-hmm. And it might have nothing to do with you. We all need a little decompression time. Absolutely. But nobody wants to hear that. So before you really get to be a champion for I want the truth every time,
be sure.
Maybe you don't so much. Mm-hmm. Unless you are super, super self-aware and secure within yourself, and then whatever they say is totally fine. Right? So you need to know you, though. That is not their job to know how you are feeling and what you need to hear, and if they don't give it to you, you can't trust them with your emotions. I mean, what a trap.
What a trap.
What a trap
well,
that
speaking of traps, what about them making me happy?
Yeah.
what about that expectation? Read my mind.
Right.
Read between the lines.
And that's with the responsibilities. Like, so many of us come at relationships or partnering up in a romantic relationship as a hole filler. Mm-hmm. Right? So there are things in me that I don't feel good about. I'm insecure, or I'm whatever that is. And so I don't want to have to work on that. That sounds like a lot of work. or I don't know what to do. So I'm going to give you, you're going to tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm smart, tell me you miss me, tell me I'm worthy, and then I don't have to do any of the work. And then this poor person, this man or woman actually has a life, right? And so they need to now give their attention to their job or their family or themselves. All of a sudden, it's not on you anymore, and now they're not making you happy anymore.
Making you feel loved or appreciated.
Because that's their job, right? I mean, I think we've established they have responsibilities.
Right, on it.
So when you're really alone, independent of the person, stop and figure out, what am I actually needing and requiring from this relationship? Because on its face, relationships are supposed to be, I enjoy the companion of you, I enjoy being around you, I enjoy how I feel when I'm, again, it's how you inspire me. I'm a better person when I'm around you, but that's a choice, right? Instead, we give them jobs. And then if they don't fulfill the jobs that we gave them without their consent, we say we can't trust them. So that's how we circled it back to trust, because that's really what it is.
It's kind of like an agenda, you're saying?
That
serves you, them.
So stop and look at it and go, what do I want, need, and expect from this person? Because is it a just an agenda to fill me up so they can take care of me and make me feel better? Or am I super needy and a little desperate? I mean, let's be honest, we've all been there, where you're just giving so they can tell you that you're okay, and so, or is it serving the relationship as a whole? Your agenda is to share with this person your life and share and enjoy their company and feel grateful and gratitude for who they are, not who we want them to be, but who they are. And the reason that we're even diving into this kind of conversation is because we do set these expectations, mostly subconsciously, and we go, I expect this and that and the other, and then if you don't give it to me, then I can't trust you. I can't trust you to give me what I need. I can't trust you to be there for me. Or maybe they had something they needed to do. They can't live and breathe for us, right? So I think trust is overused in that way. And so I think we should break down and see what we really...
And, we were talking earlier before we went live that the overwhelming feelings of love and joy that you feel in a relationship, and actually... maybe it's what you at your core
Yes, absolutely. So, the trust comes in there as well. Because, at the beginning of the relationship, you're all just, nothing even exists. I mean, even bad days aren't bad anymore. Everything's great. You want everybody to be in love. You just have this overwhelming feeling of joy and bliss and love. And it's just warm. And it's just like a hug from mom. It's fantastic. And we attribute that to that other person. We give them credit for that. It's unfortunate because it's actually who you are. It's who we are. It's not something we have. It's not something they gave us. It's not something we're giving them. We are love at the core of our being. And so we just use that person as a distraction long enough to allow it to flow through. And if we could remember that, we have the ability to allow that to flow whenever we want, given the right tools and tricks. It's just our little monkey mind gets in there and tells us that we're, you need to focus on this. This is very important, or you have to stress about this, or you need to worry about this. Worry pretends to be necessary on a regular basis. It's not. Your useless worry, I'm sorry to tell you. but it is what it is. But the trust thing is important. You need to figure out what it is you need to trust them with. And then, most importantly, and this is with all the relationships, so I'm sure we'll say it again as we explore some of the others in a minute, is you need to pay attention to people. Not what you want them to be, not what you wish they were, or not the, what I hear a lot, and I hear it from men and women, but mostly women, is, that's not what they meant. Okay. So Maya Angelou said it best when she said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. They're showing you. You're not being tricked. You're not being duped. They're being very transparent. They're showing you who they are. If you want to know if they're honorable, spend some time with them. Watch them fulfill promises to themselves, to other people, to you. You know, if they say they're going to be somewhere and they're not and they have a bunch of excuses, fine if you choose to accept that, but don't ignore the fact that it's happening.
Right.
And then because it's showing you right there if they're honorable. And then later they borrow a bunch of money from you to pay it back and you go, I trusted him. I trusted her. Why? You were shown. They showed you who they were. Right? And so we need to take some accountability for ourselves. So I just think the trust gets out there too much. And it's unfortunate because then we go, I don't trust people. Don't trust people. And then we end up alone or lonely or without that human connection. We need that human connection. And trust does not have to be the barrier to opening yourself up and allowing yourself to connect with somebody else like we think it is. When we start to break it down, it takes some of the excuse out, you know, but that's a good thing. But it also, you know, makes you more empowered. So, yeah. So that is a big one. So
what about family and friends
relationships? Yeah, different relationships, right? How do you trust your family? Well, there are some, we have this thing where you go, well, they're family, so of course, you know, I'm going to trust them or I'm going to do this for them. And so when they let you down or they don't honor a commitment or whatever, you say, if you can't trust family, who can you trust? Right. The fact is they're humans. They're humans. You guys share DNA and a bloodline and a trust and a bond that can never, ever, ever be broken. But they're still human. So you need to make sure you're seeing them for who they are. All of their blessings and their challenges. Not just the title that they have or the role they're playing in your life. They're still humans. And they're not always super honorable. Maybe they're having a hard time in their life and so they did something they're not proud of or whatever that is. I doubt anybody would set out in your family to let you down or to disappoint you or anything like that.
But you assign them what you think they should be and they fall short because you had an expectation.
Yes. We all have our labels, right? Mom.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. She softens right up when you hear that. You know, daughter, sister, brother, uncle, whatever that looks like. And under those, you have them and I have them. We all have them. You have them. Under each title comes a list of should and shouldn'ts.
Yes.
This is what an aunt looks like to me. This is what a mom does. Here's what a dad does. And they don't always agree with everyone else on the planet, but you and I have our own. And so if someone doesn't fit within that structure of what we decided a dad should be or a mom should be or an aunt should be, and they let us down in some way, we go, I can't believe I can't trust them. You can't trust your own family. Who can you trust? It's just this whole thing. Fact is, they're humans.
Well, and we imposed what we thought they should be rather than looking, as you said, at what they truly are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So look at each family member. If you're struggling with any of them, look at them and go, okay, here's Uncle Joe. Let me look exactly what are his best qualities. Right. And what do I enjoy most about him? And what maybe I even got from him if it's funny or, you know, whatever that looks like. And then what are his current challenges?
True.
You know, he's got things, and that's okay. So if Joe has bad credit and Joe keeps getting his cars repossessed, don't loan him money. And then get mad at him for not paying you back. Like, seriously? Like, it happens all the time.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And of course, I'm oversimplifying using money. It's just the one currency we all understand.
We do.
Because everybody has to deal with it. Other than that, I realize our situations are very unique. But at the end of the day, the feelings they produce are very similar. So I'm just using that for example. But phone plans. Put me on your phone plan. Why? Well, I can't get one right now. Why?
Why?
Yeah. Or choose to give and not ask for it back. Right? You can give.
You give knowing you may not ever see it.
Right. And that has to be okay with your heart and your spirit. Otherwise, you end up, we get this overwhelming dark cloud of nobody can trust, everybody's trying to get me. When really we have so much more insight and power than we choose to exercise sometimes. So
okay. So let's shift to what I think is the biggest one.
Yeah.
This self-trust.
The fact is, at the end of the day, is you never have to trust anybody ever if you trust yourself.
This was big. She used this with me in an instance, and I went, whoa, that's big. That's truly thinking about expecting things from other people and what that relationship's going to be, and recognizing it really has to do with me learning to trust myself at the
Yes.
end of the day and not putting that on them.
Yes.
Me judging for myself if I think this person in this relationship is going the way I think it should. That was a huge moment. For
It's
me,
a big. It's so empowering. When I realized that, I was just so relieved. I actually got that.
It's a great
I
word.
don't think it actually says it in there anywhere. I have to read it again. But the overwhelming understanding, it just was like an aha light
It
bulb.
was for me.
For me, was when I was reading the Four Agreements
Yeah.
years
good.
ago, and I was having a really hard time with all of that. When someone would lie to me,
Sure.
oh my God, I lost it because I couldn't trust what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that it didn't matter what anybody else does, as long as I trusted myself, you're never going to steer yourself wrong. Your gut tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Your when you can get calm within your body and your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
You just know. And so if you choose to go against it, that's fine. You know you made that choice.
Right.
And you go, oh, well, that's what not because that person did anything, but because
You allowed that to.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So most relationships, we come from a place of needing or desperation. And we need them to give us something that we feel like we don't have. There's a hole in us in some way. And they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it unfair to ask them to do that,
Mm-hmm.
it's not right. And predators, people who have an agenda and want to do bad things to you, understand that. So they'll come in and say, I got you. I will take care of you. I will do this for you. I'll be your strong oak and you can just lean on me. And you're like, oh, finally. Guess what? They do that because that's a natural human. They know a lot of people come in to relationships expecting someone else to save you. You don't need to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to be saved.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's job one.
Right.
But beyond that, there's nothing you can't give yourself way more powerful and more authentic, and just they can't give you what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense?
It's true. It's true.
It's
no,
true.
It is.
I hope it makes sense. But it is. So basically what we're saying to other people is I'm giving you this list of things you need to do. Fill the holes in me. Be my other half. You're not half a person.
Right.
What do you mean other half?
Completely.
You are 1,000% all-encompassing person.
Right.
You don't. So we're saying you be everything I'm not. I'll be what you're not. We'll lean up and we'll walk through this world victorious together. And that's not how it works.
No.
No. And so we're saying basically I'm not very nice to myself. So I need you to be nicer to me than I am. Is really what it is at the end of the day. That's what all this babbling has been about. And I can't trust myself. So I need you to be trustworthy because I know I'm not. And the problem with that, again, is we end up being suspicious and all sorts of things.
Well,
and
we're disappointed because they can't
no,
do it all and read our
Right,
minds.
right.
So
And we go, must have picked the wrong person.
Mm,
Right? Wrong person, wrong relationship. I made a mistake. Let's
Right.
cut that one out and do it again. Guess
Right.
what?
family, it's a little bit tough. They are who they
Yeah.
are.
But like with romantic
Right.
relationships, you
Mhm.
just end up with the same person with a different face. Right?
Repeating history.
Yeah. Because that.
Well, we talked a little bit in romantic relationships about the non-negotiables and
Yes.
recognizing that you have things you can live with, must live with, and
Mhm.
things you can't live with. And knowing that, setting that intention for yourself and believing that you're looking out for yourself and can do this.
Totally.
Huge.
And you know what? That goes in with the the trust thing quite a bit. I'm glad you brought it
Yeah.
up here because we'll set. If you talk to your girlfriends or your buddies before, when you're single, before that love feeling hits
That
you,
glorious
gets
moment.
released within you, you have a list of absolute non-negotiables, like you said.
You do.
You know, I can't be cheated on, and some people don't care about that. They like open relationships. So everybody it's
Everybody's
something different, right? Then you end up compromising those for that person based on the promise that they gave you.
Yeah.
And then when they don't fulfill that promise, which, let's be honest, they probably showed you if you weren't paying attention, then we say, I did this for you. I sacrificed myself and I lowered my bar for you, and then I couldn't trust you. See, you can't trust people.
Mhm.
No, what you did was break trust with yourself because you made a deal with yourself and you didn't trust it. So
Absolutely.
I need you to be trustworthy because I'm going to lie to myself on a regular basis. So
Okay, so what exercises are we going to go
so we're
for?
going to actually give you guys some stuff to do in case you're thinking, oh my God, I have an Uncle Joe, or I wonder where she's at. You know, like
Right.
your
Or
question.
have I been kidding myself?
Yes. So first, we're going to ask you to do a trust exercise with
Okay.
yourself. This is not like the trust exercise where you fall back because you're by yourself and you will just end up cracking your head open.
Right.
So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is grab your journal, grab a piece of paper, whatever that is. And I want you to make one small, not a huge, small promise to yourself each morning and keep that promise. One promise.
All right.
It could be anything. I'm going to take 5 minutes today, or I'm going to pay those bills today I've been putting off, or I'm going to fold those clothes. It doesn't matter what it is. One promise to yourself. Then at the end of the day, write down how it felt underneath that promise. It doesn't have to be a big, long, deep thing. Just how did that feel, and be able to maybe check mark next to it. Some people love checking stuff off.
I do love checking.
Do you?
things off.
Okay, perfect. Then some days you'll feel great that you did it, and other days you're going to feel guilty because maybe somebody else wanted you to do something, but you kept that promise to yourself, or you feel like maybe I should have, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you kept that promise to yourself, so it's okay. However you feel is totally okay. The more you do it, the more you will just be. You'll learn.
You'll get more centered that way, won't you?
Yes, and you'll learn to trust yourself. So when you think something, you won't be second guessing it all the time, right? Because you realize that you're a trustworthy person. And that's not to other people. You could probably give me a laundry list of everything you've done for everybody else. Do it for you, then let's chat. That's the list I want to say.
That's a beautiful thing.
For sure.
Okay.
Second is intuition.
Ooh.
Truth is, we're all very intuitive. You have your gut feeling. Some people call it a vibe. Yes. I'm in the zone. You ever see like sports?
Yes.
Yeah. So we call it all sorts of different things, but it is our knowing. The only tricky part about it is our knowing is very quiet. It whispers to us, where our mind, the monkey mind is noisy and needy and has an agenda. And quite honestly, it loves drama. So if it can make something small into something big, it's had a good day. Your monkey mind is...
Darn monkey mind.
Well, you just got to go, okay, I see what you're doing there.
Right.
And no thank you. Right? But that's a whole different...
Away.
But your gut is no joke. I mean, many, many things have been created from it. I think you guys all know, everybody knows that your intuition is huge. That might not be the word that people use, but
so being still and letting that voice come up through the monkey mind is the trick.
Yes, it's actually, it comes first and quick. So
Okay.
you need to pay attention.
I'm doing this with you
That's
guys.
the thing. It's not coming later because now your mind takes over and you start to rationalize, and then you pull from experiences you've had and things that you know. So now you're thinking and deciding based on logic and experience and emotion and need and greed, all of these things. Your monkey mind, the intuition doesn't care about any of that. It is just, here's what's right for you. And it comes in quick, comes in fast, you got to pay attention. And so here's an exercise we're going to do so you can hear, you can listen to it.
All right.
Okay, first, every time something happens that you like or don't like, something unique happens. Not like, I walked in the other room, but stop and think, let me start again. Because I was going to talk in a circle. Okay.
We're back.
And I don't want to do that. So, when something you don't like, let's just start with that because they're easier to identify. And just go, when you knew you shouldn't have done it, like you'll stop and go, did I know not to do that? What did I do, first of all? And did I know better? Did I have a gut? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But the question itself is the important part. So you go, should I have known better and beat up on yourself, but more like catch it when you know that you shouldn't have. What am I trying to say?
You're trying to say that first intuition is what you've said. That first hit is going to tell you something, and pay attention.
We'll go with an analogy. I'm so better with examples than explanations. You've probably learned this by now. If not, welcome to it. Let's say you're inspired you're at home. It's after work, 6:30. You're home, and you're like, I should get gas. You're like, I don't want to leave the house and go get gas. Your mind talks you out of it. Next thing you know, you get up in the morning and you're running late. There is there's maybe an accident on the freeway and you have to pull over and now you're late for work. You should have gotten gas. Yeah. Or it'll be something that occurs to you that you should take a shower, maybe at night. You're like, I always take my shower in the morning. What do I do it at night for? I get warm in the morning. I have a routine. No, I can't believe I even thought that. And now, the power went out last night, and now you're, well, I guess you still have your phone, but no, not if your phone wasn't charging. And so you wouldn't be able to wake up. So there are little things. Jot those down. Don't judge yourself for not listening to them, but pay attention to those. They're happening to you all day, every day. We just need to listen to them.
Okay.
And then once you get in the habit of looking for it, start listening to them intentionally. Small things. Like we said, like the gas or the shower, something like that. I mean, if it tells you, because you're having a bad day at work that you should quit and run away and go move to Hawaii, maybe not do that so much. But just start with, which way should I drive home today? And just sit for a second. It's just a second. How does that feel? Kind of picture yourself going this way or that way and go with which one feels better and see what happens.
Should we also be jotting down when we did listen to it and did it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, journaling is always good. It's always a good idea to write it down. Always.
Okay.
I find that it happens so frequently now that
you'd be writing all day, huh?
Yeah, right. So, but definitely acknowledge and appreciate. Thank you. That's part of the thank you exercise. I think we did.
Yes.
A while back. Oh, I think it's on the reduce your stress in 1 week.
Ooh.
Because a lot of that is thank you. Thank you. I knew it. Thank you. You ever get that? I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Yes. That feeling. You can live with that feeling. Or you can go, I knew better. I don't know why I did that.
Right.
But the thing is once you can trust yourself and once you can tap into your intuition and trust it and hear it before it has to scream at you, before life has to scream at you, you don't need to trust others because you know exactly what's going on. You know what's right for you. You know what's not right for you. And you make your decisions. And if you make one that doesn't serve you, okay, you learn.
Okay.
Right? That's
Perfect.
okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's fine. And then you don't do that same one again. Right?
Right.
But you don't need to trust them. You just need to learn
And when you do these things, we'd love to see your feedback in our
Yeah.
comments. And if you have something that we haven't talked about on a video for you that you think would be an important thing to get some help with, we'd love to hear that too from you, truthfully.
Absolutely.
And don't forget that 3-step guide that is down there. It's actually, in addition to what we've offered you today, it's got some wonderful, simple things that really do make an impact in your life.
Big difference.
Big difference. And this, again, is Tara and Roxanne. We are here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. See ya.